Welcome in, guys, to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Damon Farrell, and I'm with my man, Kevin Thomas, on a happy New Year's, Kevin.
Very happy New Year, Damon.
Could it be a happier New Year?
I mean, I don't think so. We're literally starting off the New Year's with a LeBron bear down post. Mm-hmm. Can it be any better to start the new year?
I mean, it's just a crazy world we're living in.
Arizona State getting whooped on in the Peach Bowl. LeBron's posting bear down. It's a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, and I'm ready, Damon. Turn me up.
Kevin. I love it. Kevin's fired up. Of course, we are talking about the commitment of three-star combo guard Bryce James, who is the second eldest son of LeBron James, committing to the University of Arizona. Bryce James here, you can see it. He's a shooting guard, 6'4", 190 pounds. Plays high school ball at Sierra Canyon, where Bronny played. And he's, of course, in this 2025 class. You see here his ranking. He's the number 257 player in the country. Honestly, Kevin, maybe not what we've become accustomed to seeing at the University of Arizona when it comes to basketball commits. Like, that's not exactly, we're not fishing around in the 250 range typically for a recruit. But obviously this isn't your typical, three-star, combo guard that you find there in that 250 range. This is the son of LeBron James, and there's a pedigree that comes with that, obviously. And while this is obviously going to catch some flack from some people that don't like LeBron naturally, this is a good thing for Arizona basketball long term.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great indication of the health of the program, I think, because there's a lot of talk about Tommy Lloyd can't recruit, Tommy Lloyd can't do this. And I'm not saying let's keep it realistic here. Bryce James is a project player. We'll talk more about his skill set later. We have some highlights to show, but he's probably not going to impact the team day one, or maybe even day two. And I think, but what it does signal is that a player of LeBron James's caliber and more importantly of LeBron James's basketball IQ, he knows what it takes to have a winning team, winning program, winning attitude towards basketball. And I think him trusting Tommy Lloyd with his son is a great indication of the respect that people have for Arizona as not only a program, but for Arizona led by Tommy Lloyd. And so I think it's a great indicator for the health of the program. While Bryce James might not exactly be the best prospect from a skill set point, it is an important prospect to land for Arizona because in this NIL era, clicks and attention sometimes is half the battle when getting a recruit's ear sometimes. So.
Absolutely. And, Jason Shear tweeted it, friend of this program. He said that, basically LeBron and his family and Bryce, they sat down with Tommy Lloyd and the coaching staff at Arizona, and they decided this was the best fit from a, development standpoint and where they thought Bryce was best suited to play basketball at the collegiate level. I think it's just interesting because obviously, this is, like I mentioned earlier, like Bronny caught so much hate while he was in college, right? And I think it was because of the pedigree that they treated him with, and the Erica puts in the chat here, like, no more ESPN 9 p.m. games for tip-offs. Like, USC was getting primetime tip-off games when they had Bronny James, and that's exactly the type of stuff that a Bryce James commitment helps with. Even if he's not going to come in day one, like you said, or even day two, like you said, and be, a guy who's really like contributing to winning at the highest level. He does project as a guy who could potentially reach that level, and he does help this program out.
1,000%. And we were talking about it actually with the great Jacob Franklin. We were discussing how this is an indicator of maybe other pieces to fall. We know LeBron James and his relationship with Clutch, obviously Bryce James having that similar relationship to that same company. Guess who else, Damon? Can you guess who is a Clutch athlete that Arizona might also really, really, really want to go get?
Koa Pete. Ever heard of him?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Koa Pete is a Clutch player, not just on the court, but with the agency as well. And so if Clutch is interested in Arizona, maybe that's a great sign that Koa Pete might also be heading down to Tucson.
Absolutely. And even I'll take it a step further. you have Braxton Bures, who plays for the EYBL team, Strive for Greatness, which of course is, LeBron's motto, and it's his EYBL team that,
one of his mottos.
Yeah, that Bryce and all his buddies play for. Bures is a 5-star recruit. So that's 2 connections right there with 2 of the top 10 rated players in this next class, where Bryce potentially helps you net those guys.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was speaking to earlier when I said this isn't, a prospect where you're mostly excited for his play. You're mostly excited for what it indicates for the health of your program. And that, other recruits being interested is also, a part of that health. And Saul Bookman brings it up. Clutch has several clients at UA, Caleb Love, Noah, T-Mac, etc. Clutch Southwest. Can we say that? Is that a thing we can say? But yeah, Damon, should we get into these highlights, kind of talk about his skill set a little bit here?
Yeah, let's do it. Give the people a quick view of, what Bryce James brings to the table. You see here, he has a pretty good stroke from 3. And I think in a lot of these highlights, you'll see him with some vertical ability. Kevin, what impresses you about Bryce James?
Well, I think what impresses me about Bryce James is he makes winning plays. These highlights you're seeing, they're defensive highlights a lot of the time as well, which means you're getting a guy that wants to make winning plays out there. Now, I don't want to gaslight these folks, to tell them what they're really watching here, because we're not watching an elite like NBA level athleticism. I don't know if you disagree with that, Damon, but his athleticism doesn't really jump off the page. But I think the fundamentals of his game do jump off the page in a real way, and that's how you impact winning, with the fundamentals, the small things. So.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I think Bronny obviously looked a little bit more springy, right? Bronny looked more like physicality was kind of his MO. And while Bryce is a little bit bigger than Bronny, he definitely doesn't seem to have that, take it to the basket slasher kind of athleticism that a Bronny had. But to me, personally, this is a very, elementary look at it, and I haven't done a ton of research into Bryce James's game, but he seems as like he has a much better stroke than Bronny. To me, he seems like he can pretty much, his 3-pointer looks fluid, it looks fundamental, and it looks consistent every time. And at a guy that's a senior in high school at his age, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I do agree with that evaluation of it. I think the what excites me the most about Bryce James is that we see the fundamentals right now, and we know the pedigree is there, and we also know that the people that he's been surrounded with from a basketball standpoint are some of the best and brightest at the sport in general. And so I trust in his ability to be coachable. Like, obviously, I'm not there. I haven't seen his ability to be coachable, but he must be coachable. Which is something that I'm sure Tommy Lloyd is really excited to get after. And we were talking about his player development yesterday, Damon. We're about to find out if he can turn Bryce James into, an NBA quality guy. Kudos to Tommy Lloyd, because right now he does look every bit of a 3-star.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you, and that's honestly a great point, Kevin. Like, we're freaking out about Tommy's ability to develop. Can he take these guys that we see some flashes from in their first year and, turn them into the star caliber players that we need them to be in his second year? This is going to be pretty much the test for Tommy Lloyd when it comes down to developing players. Like, what does that look like? This is someone that obviously, right now looks pretty raw. Doesn't look like we mentioned, like a big time contributor. Is Tommy Lloyd going to be able to, really round out that defensive ability out of his game, round out that basketball IQ that he, obviously gets from his dad, who might be the smartest basketball player that's ever stepped on the floor. It's going to be a really, really interesting kind of mismatch of, Tommy Lloyd's development, what the ability that Bryce James does have right now, and that marriage. You know what I mean?
No, totally. I tweeted it earlier today that I was feverishly daydreaming about LeBron and Mikhail. And I think, and I spoke to it earlier on this little emergency episode, that LeBron trusting Tommy Lloyd with his son is huge, because I think that a guy as smart as LeBron James when it comes to basketball would want his son to play at a place that he feels is going to develop his son and make him a better, smarter basketball player, while also obviously developing him as a man, which is first and foremost. But we're talking basketball. And I think that Tommy Lloyd, this is a flex, I think, for Tommy Lloyd. I think that I'm excited to see – my point is I'm excited to see LeBron and Tommy link up eventually. I need that in my life. And I'm excited to see how it comes out, like ideologically. I wonder, like, we were talking about it yesterday on yesterday's show, your dream New Year's celebration. I would love to be a fly on the wall to listen to LeBron and Tommy Lloyd talk about basketball. And I'm excited. Yeah. I know those conversations are going to happen. And just the fact that that's happening somewhere in the universe makes me excited.
In our universe that we live in right now. One thing I will kind of push back on the point you made right now is LeBron did send his kid to Andy Enfield last year, 2 years ago? Last year. So,
True.
Andy Enfield, not exactly my thought process as like a basketball savant or whatever, like not the best developer of talent, like a good recruiter for sure. Yeah. Seems like a cool guy, but doesn't, not exactly a coach that inspires a ton of confidence. So that's the one thing where I'm like, maybe let's walk back or you could argue they watched Andy Enfield firsthand and they said, get me a real coach.
Yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm going to push back on your pushback because they went through the Andy Enfield thing. They went with the USC. Oh, we're in Southern California. We got Andy Enfield. No, we need a real basketball coach with a real blue blood program like Arizona and Tommy Lloyd. That's what we need.
I'm with it.
Yeah, Damon, we've been talking about how Bryce James isn't a one and done, two and done. He might be a 3-4 year player. What do you think that means for Arizona going forward, recruiting wise, knowing that he likely will be here for multiple years? Do you think it affects the marketability of the team? It must, right? We were talking about how there no more late tip offs for ESPN. It's gonna be prime time when he's on the squad. So what do you think it means for the overall direction of the team on the court?
Yeah, I think it can only help you in recruiting, right? The basketball and football guy puts it here in the comments that this is going to get Tommy so many more recruits, which I think is, that's not exactly quantifiable. It's not exactly something that we can, put a number to, but it definitely is good exposure that only puts Tommy Lloyd and the Arizona Wildcats at the forefront of recruits' minds, especially those big time recruits like Koa Pete and Bures, like we mentioned earlier. And on top of that, like, I think from an NIL perspective, right, this can only help. You got way more attention on Arizona now. Bryce James is going to have a big NIL deal because Bronny was like the highest earner in all of, collegiate athletics. Like, I think that, this added exposure is only going to do positive for Arizona basketball. And like, if you're a Caleb Love and, not that he's on the team next year, but I'm saying if you're a guy at the caliber of a Caleb Love and you're playing with Bryce James, so people are tuning in to see Bryce James and they watch you drop 33 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 turnovers like he did against TCU a couple nights ago. Like, that's only going to, tenfold expand the NIL opportunities that a guy like Caleb Love sees. So I think it really is just, it screams positivity to me.
Yes, and Erica Day said in the chat, think of the NIL deals Bronny was getting. Google commercial that was played every 12 minutes going to get really good for the Cats. I think that the brand placement, it's going to take – like Arizona's already a national brand. But when you have a player like Bryce James come to your school, and then you have LeBron posting on Instagram, bear down, congratulations, Maximus, so proud of you. This takes the brand to a whole nother level, right? And I think that yes, it's not ultimately about the brand, but when you're trying to bring in recruits, having that name value, being a household name, everyone knowing Arizona, seeing Arizona logos all the time, it primes you to think about the school. And I think just being in front of people, being in front of these recruits is super important for Arizona, especially in the NIL era. If you see people on commercials with the Wildcats logo, you might want a Wildcat logo on your chest as well. So.
You have to assume that you're going to see LeBron wearing U of A gear, LeBron talking about the Cats. And that's going to be a crazy new world.
LeBron and Richard Jefferson linking up, talking Cats. Oh, yeah. I need it, Damon. I need it.
That's a good point right there. I think, this is going to be a new world for Arizona basketball fans. We were ready for this world when Sharif O'Neal committed to the Arizona Wildcats.
Yes.
I don't exactly remember the year that it was.
I don't remember either. I do remember.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it was right around the 8 years, sometime around the FBI scandal, but that's why he got out of his NLI. But
just that little thing.
We were ready for. It's legal now. We were ready for. We were ready to, be the kind of the show, I guess, in town, for lack of a better word, where, Shaquille O'Neal was going to be at McHale Center. Shaquille O'Neal was going to be wearing U of A stuff. Shaquille O'Neal was going to be talking about the Wildcats, and it just didn't pan out that way, right? Now we get it, but we get it on steroids. Like, this is an entirely different scope of importance.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear LeBron talk cat basketball. Excuse me. I think that I just can't believe, Damon. I know this is not great analysis, but I just can't believe that I woke up this morning and LeBron James is talking about the U of A in such glowing terms, and his son is gonna be here. And it's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is my life, Damon. I'm smiling through it all. I can't believe this is my life.
Little LeBron callback there.
Yeah.
Little verbal meme for you guys that don't get it. That's a LeBron meme, but yeah,
LeBron meme for y'all.
Absolutely incredible. We're thrilled about this news. It really is the right way to start off the new year, right? Like that. This is the perfect little appetizer, and hopefully we see a couple big time commits come in and roll their way in the next, the ensuing months, the ensuing weeks here. And this is kind of, that jumpstart to that.
1000%. I will say though, that one downside I just thought of is, like, good luck getting tickets to games, like in the like
that's
that. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, the show is really going to be real.
The big loser here, McHale going fans. Absolutely.
Yes. The big loser is like students who don't have the Zona Zoo that usually just buy one in the nosebleeds and then just walk down. It's over. Like, it's cooked. You're done. Like, that's not happening anymore. You better find your seat and stay there, because that seat's gonna be gone. So no, but that's only a good thing. Sellouts are only a good thing. But
not that we have problems with that.
I hope Coach Pete is next. I hope we're here on an emergency podcast soon talking about Coach Pete.
Yeah, man. Dude, let's just keep doing emergency podcasts, because I feel like emergency podcasts, like 95% of the time, like, good positive thing, right? 95% of the time. It's very, very infrequent that it's like a negative thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. For every positive emergency pod, though, but not in this case. Usually, if it's like a trade or something, you have, or like a free agency signing, like if I don't know, but sometimes you have two edges of the sword there, so to speak. But yeah, no, I love a good emergency pod. Nothing better to waking up to some good news and knowing you get to chop it up with your boy about it. It's really good. It's really good. I'm excited. I remember when Bryce James made that Instagram post, Damon, and I remember telling people, like, yeah, he probably will never come here, but, like, it's just cool that he.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Like, wouldn't that be insane? Like, LeBron and McHale, nuts. And then now it's here. And I was telling my girlfriend, like, not long ago, I was just saying, like, there's like a non-zero chance that, like, me and LeBron are in the same, like, physical, like, small room at some point now in the next, like, 4 years, like that. Yeah. Before it was like just a zero chance. Like, yeah, I'll be in the same arena, whatever. But now it's like a non-zero chance that I meet LeBron James at some point. And that's given me all the will to go through the rest of 2025 with a great big old smile on my face, Damon.
Just lock in, Kevin. I think, we got to really work on getting LeBron on the pod, right?
Oh, yeah. We need to be able to say friend of the show, LeBron James, at some point.
Absolutely. Hey, LeBron, Trey Spivey committed to U of A, and his dad, Junior Spivey, professional athlete, he wanted to talk about it. Just saying. Your move. Ball's in your court, King.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we get a little Junior Spivey LeBron, link up, just double down on all the former athletic greats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just crazy times to be an Arizona Wildcat fan. We've really been riding the roller coaster this year, Damon, just riding the waves, because.
What do you mean? this year.
What do you mean? Yeah, no, I'm saying like
top.
because but I'm saying oh, true. It's a new year. Okay, well, over the last 365 days.
I'm eating good in 2025, Kevin. I'm eating good in 2025. Like you said,
we're well fed. We're well fed.
ASU's losing. The cats are eating. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
We just had to go through 2024 to get to 2025.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't know what was on the other side of 2024, but now we know that it's the possibility of LeBron asking us to be on the show, as the basketball and football guy says.
Absolutely. One element of this, before we get out of here, that I'll ask you real quick, Kevin. Lonnie in the chat here says Bryce James will play only 1 year and get drafted by the Lakers. Is there any concern about that in your opinion, or do you think that now that LeBron has reached that goal of playing with his son in the NBA, that with his second son, he will allow him to kind of stay in school a little bit more, develop, and kind of, slow cook that process?
I had thought about that, but I hadn't really given it too much thought just because of where Bryce James is at skill set wise.
Yeah.
But we did see it with Bronny. No, like I don't think many fans thought that he was NBA ready when he went.
He isn't, and he wasn't. But
no, I know. But I'm just saying, like we all kind of saw that, and I think it was to an extent a rushed situation to get him where he needed to be to make this achievement. So I could see it. I could see it in a way where they rush him through this process just so that LeBron can be like, hey, I played with both of my sons. No one's even played with their own son. This is, you know what I mean? But no, I just don't think Bryce is nearly as ready, because you know what really gave Bronny any credence as a pro was that athleticism that you were talking about when you first started the podcast that popped off the screen. Like he was a little more springy, had more NBA ready athleticism than Bryce does.
You could buy in on the defense. Yeah.
Yes. You're like, oh, well, maybe he can develop like heady player, the whole thing. But I just think his athleticism isn't where it needs to be if his skill set isn't where it needs to be as well. So I don't think that's really the most likely possibility, but I wouldn't rule it out. Like I wouldn't rule it out just because of the LeBron of it all. And that is a huge achievement to be able to play with both of your sons. That's insane. So I'm sure he does. I'm sure in the back of his head that he does understand that, but I don't think that's the most likely outcome at all.
Yeah, no, I don't really see it happening personally. Saul here in the chat, he says 0 chance that happened. He's putting his stamp on it. Saul watched a little bit more of Bryce James than I think me or Kevin have to this point. But I think it feels like Bryce is they're kind of gonna let him slow cook, let him lock in on his college career, and Tommy Lloyd is, on paper, he's the perfect coach to get the job done there.
I think we've neglected to bring something up here, Damon, and this is on us. We got to put our hand up here and say, hey, that's on us. Because if Arizona lands Elijah Arenas, son of Gilbert Arenas, and Bryce James, son of LeBron James, it's really going to be a show.
Yeah.
Like it's really going to be up for Arizona if they secure both of those two prospects. And as Saul said, make sure to check out the full breakdown that him and Corey did. Great stuff talking about Bryce James and his game, his ceiling, his floor, all that good stuff. So check that out. Also, Mikhail Madness tomorrow at 7 p.m. going live. So make sure not to miss that as well.
There'll be a little bit of Bryce James talking in that show, I'm sure.
I'm sure that Corey is going to want to talk that up with Saul, But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think that we just need more good news, Damon. Just bring us all the good news. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. This was a good way to start off our 2025. Thank you guys for being a part of it. We appreciate you guys all for watching. We will be available for any other emergency pods that need to happen. Like Kevin said, hopefully we have another emergency pod like in 5 minutes right after we close this guy out.
Like, Pete just sees this and is like, oh, well, I gotta sign right now. I gotta scribble my name down right now.
Yeah, that's where we're at with it. We will be here. We will be back. We'll be back on Friday at noon. No pod on Thursday, but Mikhail Madness at 7 p.m. like Kevin noted earlier. Make sure you guys check that out. You'll get a full Bryce breakdown. And check out the full Bryce breakdown that was already posted on McHale Madness. That's going to be good stuff as well. Shout out everybody in the chat. June, basketball football guy, self-made, Erica, Saul, JJ Tucson, all the gang. All the gang was here. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That does wonders in terms of helping us. Give me a follow at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Give Kevin a follow at KevO Posts. That's KEVO Posts on Twitter. And make sure you guys follow the beat account at PHNX_Wildcats on Twitter. Anything before we get out of here, Kevin?
No. Thank you all for watching. I know it's the holiday and we're all celebrating Bryce James, and so thanks for celebrating with me and Damon right now. But yeah, thankful for all y'all being in the chat. Happy New Year's.
Become a diehard.
Yes, become a diehard for sure. See more of me and Damon. Also, we're gonna be popping in the Discord more. We will be popping in the Discord more.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for you, Damon.
Definitely. We're gonna get out of here. I have to paint my body burnt orange for this second half of this Sugar Bowl. So yeah, that's gonna take some time here, but got to get to that. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you, and we will catch you next time on the AZ Wildcats podcast.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.